Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper, and I have something to share with you about figs that I wish I would have learned years ago. I didn't experience it though till this growing season because of some things I did last fall. And it's just one simple thing that I did last fall that is having this effect on them now that is going to completely change the way that our family grows figs here in the Ozarks. And I'm so looking forward to the results from this as they continue to prove themselves. Can you all see how high that is above me? That's probably 8 feet tall, and it's only like mid-May. To have 8-foot tall figs here on my homestead in mid-May is unheard of. In fact, they don't really even reach that tall by the end of the growing season on a regular year, but we changed that with this trick. Also, can you see that guy there? Look at that. We already have figs that big hanging on some of our varieties, and this is also part of what we did and the effects of it and why we're going to do that every year from here on out. So what was the trick? What did we do? Well, let's back up to last fall and I'll show you. Start looking at this wall. This is 4 different varieties that we're testing out. I want to see what works best here. Some of these can run up from the ground level and put out a nice crop of figs by the end of the season. This one here did, and it's got the biggest brebas on it right now. Now the brebas are those figs that it will set on the old wood. We never learned about that before because we never had old wood. I'm looking for plants, not pets, so I don't want something in a pot that I've got to carry around back and forth in the house and out of the house every year. I want something that can pretty much, with minimal investment from me, be out here and give me what I want. If I have a fig plant, obviously I want the figs, right? So now that I have this old wood, this one here has about a dozen of those nice big brebas on it right now. And these guys are going to be in addition to the actual main crop. So I've got 4 of them just hanging on this one stem here. They look big. I'm waiting for that kind of final swell and change of color. And these guys should be awesome. But just to see that is crazy. I didn't know that was a thing. I could have probably watched a bunch of YouTube videos for hours and learned all sorts of things. I learn more by doing but I tried, if I learned something great, share it with you guys rather quickly and set you guys up for success in the future. Yeah, you can see all 4 there, and this is going to be in addition to the main crop. These are like an added bonus by not killing it back and allowing it to freeze to the ground last winter. And the other interesting thing about this is that some of these can produce from ground level in one season. Some of these don't. So if I start out with something that's 5, 6, 7, 8 feet tall, now it's going to have all of that growing up that it does need to do. And I'm hoping that that'll cause it to create an incredible harvest this year that it wouldn't get if it only existed for one growing season and had to regrow from the root. These guys are fantastic, and they're large, and so is the ones that we put in years ago. This giant wall here is the brown turkey figs that we originally planted back here a long time ago, just taking cuttings, shoving them in a row, and they'd get almost this tall in a growing season. You know, this one made about this tall last year, and then since then it's gone up another foot or 14 inches since then. But that's about how big they would make it in a season. Now they get to start out that big. That changes a lot. And just for testing, I had like this one grew so nice and big last year. I can still see little figs that didn't make it all the way on there. I thought, you know what, is it big enough to survive the winter here on its own? So I laid down all these other ones, all these other massive ones over here that are real big. I laid them down, put the rocks on top of them, and covered them with the leaves. This one and another one I left out. And of course we had complete dieback. It died back to within about 6 inches of the base. And they stay green till they almost make it. We're like zone 6B, 7A. They almost make it through the winter, but then right at the end, they fail. They don't have that last little extra push to make it all the way through. So then I get a big dead stick by the spring. If all it takes is the effort of tipping this guy over, tipping some other ones over with it, laying a big rock on it, and covering it with leaves, I'm doing that every year from now on, and stay tuned for this fall. I will report on what the crop looks like this year compared to every other year that we've ever had. If you guys don't know, figs are super easy to propagate. They're worth having if you can grow them in an area that makes sense. Farther south, out in the desert, California stuff, sometimes they'll be treats, and they'll be incredible. We're not quite there in this zone. Now I am testing out over a dozen varieties right now to see what works best in my area. I have some that I really like, but this allows me to really like some ones that I wouldn't otherwise like, because now they can give me a harvest and produce way more figs, because I'll actually have taller, stronger, healthier plants than if they have to restart from a little sprout each spring and then try to do everything in one season. It's just not what they're supposed to do. So this right here is one of the ones I didn't cover last year that died back. Look at the amount of growth on there. We've got maybe 13 or 14 inches, and that's what all of them would normally look like on a regular year. Just that. They'd all start back, they'd all be about under 2 feet tall right now, and they'd have to regrow everything. So if I can take that and instead have that where they're up there, man, that is awesome. Some of those right now are probably 9 feet maybe. They're over 8. And all it took was not letting them die back, but instead just laying them down and protecting them through the winter in a very simple, easy way. Let me know if you guys got anything to add. I appreciate it. Look forward to advice. You know, always want to do a better job, but this changes everything for me. Hopefully this will help you. It's amazing the amount of people I've talked to who don't know about lignifying, don't know about brebas. I'd rather say something just in case you didn't hear it from somewhere else. I'll see you next time. Papa out.
Thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Thumbs up. For real.
The cow head is good?
Yeah.
That's because you know.